Have you ever seen this mask before? Today, it's just a Halloween costume, a symbol of mystery, something strange but harmless. But if you were alive in 14th century Europe, this mask had only one meaning. Death had arrived. When figures wearing long black cloaks and beaked masks appeared at the end of a narrow alley, people didn't scream, they didn't run, they already knew. Someone in that house was going to die. But have you ever wondered what was really inside that long, grotesque beak? And why the men who wore it, men called doctors, were feared almost as much as the disease itself? Let us return to the darkest chapter in European history, the Black Death. A plague so devastating it erased nearly 1/3 of the continent's population. Bodies piled up in the streets. The air was thick with the stench of decay. Entire cities became graveyards. In desperation, governments began hiring men willing to walk into places no one else dared to enter. They were paid enormous sums of money. They were called plague doctors. And their terrifying appearance was not meant to frighten people. It was meant to protect them. In fact, this outfit is often considered the first primitive form of biological protective equipment in human history. They wore long robes coated in wax, designed to prevent blood and infected fluids from soaking into the fabric. They used leather gloves and wide-brimmed hats to cover every inch of exposed skin. But the most important part was the mask. The beak, about 15 centimeters long, was not hollow. At the time, people believed disease spread through poisoned air or miasma, so the beak was tightly packed with powerful herbs, mint, rose petals, camphor, cloves, sometimes even dried opium. The doctor breathed through this herbal filter, believing it would cleanse the air before it reached the lungs. They believed it made them immune. The truth was far more brutal. The mask didn't work. Most plague doctors were not elite physicians. They were failed medical students, second-rate doctors who couldn't find work, or desperate men willing to risk their lives for fast money. Their treatments were horrifying. They drained patients of blood until they collapsed. They whipped the sick to drive out evil spirits. They placed leeches, frogs, and even toads onto swollen, pus-filled plague boils, believing the disease could be drawn out of the body. It was not medicine. It was desperation dressed as science. And their fate was often no better than the people they treated. The waxed robes were useless against fleas, the true carriers of the plague. The mask could not stop what they did not understand. They entered homes filled with death as supposed saviors, but in reality, their main task was to count the dead and report the numbers to the authorities. Many of them died alone, in the same darkness they had walked into so many times before. In the end, the beaked mask saved no one. It became a silent witness to humanity's helplessness in the face of nature's fury. Because sometimes ignorance is more terrifying than death itself. If you want to uncover more dark truths from history, stories your textbooks never told, subscribe to Tales by Jay, and we'll meet again in the shadows of the past.